As we gather on Memorial Day, we pause to remember the men and women who gave their lives in service to the United States of America. From the fields of the Revolutionary War to the beaches of Normandy, from the hills of Korea to the jungles of Vietnam, to the deserts of the Middle East, generation after generation has answered the call to defend freedom. Some returned home, but many did not. These were not just soldiers. They were friends, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, ordinary people who carried extraordinary courage. And behind that courage was something deeper, a belief in freedom, a belief in something greater than themselves, a belief in God that created all men equal. The Bible reminds us in John chapter 15, verse 13, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Today we honor that kind of love, a sacrifice that reflects not only duty to our country, but a reflection of Christ himself, who gave his life for us all. As we remember the fallen, we also look to the present, to those still serving, to those who stand watch even now. May we never take lightly the freedom we have been given, because it was bought at a cost. Let us live in a way that honors their sacrifice, with faith, with gratitude, and with a commitment to truth and righteousness. May God bless the families of the fallen. May God protect those who serve, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Welcome to Our Grace family. Today we want to honor the brave men and women who preserved our nation's freedom. Since the very beginning, 250 years ago, we want to honor and remember the sacrifices that they made for our country. But we also want you to think about their families and the heavy burden that they carried.
Yes, and on previous programs, we had soldiers on sharing their experiences of what it was like in the war. But today, we brought some wives on to give us a different perspective of what life was like for them while their spouses were off fighting the war. So welcome to the program today, Linda and Susan. We're so happy to have you with us today.
We're grateful to be here.
So we're going to start with you, Linda. Can you tell us about your husband and what position he was in the war?
Jim Rennick, and he joined the service, the Army, in August of 1969. And he was supposed to be in radio communication lines, putting up the lines in the service.
What war was that? Vietnam?
Yeah, Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Yes.
So he was supposed to lay down the communication lines?
Yeah, that's what he was trained for.
But is that what he actually did when he got over there?
When he went over in January of 1970, they handed him an M16 gun, and he had that the whole entire time he was over there.
Wow.
He was fighting.
Okay.
He didn't do any radio. He never touched anything pertaining to that.
And then Susan?
My spouse's name is Albert Malcolmer. He was drafted in 1968, and he became a military policeman. And he was there about a year, and they asked him to extend his time a few extra months in Vietnam so he could be, they told him he could leave early if he did that, and he chose to do that.
Chose to do that. So
Yeah.
both of your spouses were in the Vietnam War.
Yes.
So Linda, let's go on and ask, what was it like for your husband?
He got over there in January of 1970, and he went out at night looking for the Viet Cong.
So his life was in danger tremendously.
Yes, yes.
So did you know all about this? Why why he was serving, or did he tell you any details like that he was?
He told me very little,
Okay.
you know. He told me he would go out at night with infrared lights, you know, so they could see if there was any movement
Any
of the
enemies?
Viet Cong, you know, supply trains or whatever, and they weren't allowed to move. And if there was movement, then they had to call the military command, and then they would determine if it would be airstrikes, ships, or artillery.
Now, how old were you when he went into the war?
I think I was 19.
19. And you were probably newly married, I would
Well,
imagine.
probably a year and a half,
Year and a
2
half.
years. We had a little boy, baby.
So that was a lot for you to be a newlywed and a mother
Right.
of a small one. And then he's off fighting this war. So what was it like for you?
Well, when he told me he was going to Vietnam, I was just devastated. I just couldn't believe it, you know. It was just so overwhelming, you know. We have a son and he needs a father, you know, and I could, you know, it was just devastating. But
Did your mind go to the worst?
yes, it did go to the worst. I just at the beginning, and then I talked to somebody, my cousin that goes to Grace Cathedral, and she was having prayer for him all the time, and a peace came over me then. Though there was times he couldn't communicate, and like towards the end, he was. I hadn't heard from him for like maybe 6 weeks, so I sent the Red Cross out to see if they could find him. And about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call, and it was him in Chicago. They gave him an early release, and so he was home for Christmas of
So he was coming home.
1970. Yeah.
But during that period of time where you weren't receiving any communication, I'm sure that was very hard on you.
It was, because you just never knew what he was doing, if he was hurt, you know.
And during that time, both you and your husband were not saved or serving the
No,
Lord,
not
correct?
at all. We knew of the Lord. I had, as a child, went to Grace Cathedral, and I believed in God, and my husband believed in God, but we didn't serve him that time.
Looking back on it, though, did Jim tell you any stories about how close to death he was?
He was out in a boat, and they started firing on them, but no one got hurt.
God protected him.
Yeah, God protected him.
That's wonderful.
Power of prayer from our loved ones that were saved.
Now, Sue, can you tell us about what you went through and your story?
Mine is probably an unusual story because I didn't have the fear that a lot of wives have. In fact, my husband told me that all the time he was in Vietnam, he didn't have fear.
Which is surprising
Very.
because that time in the country,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people that were just concerned about their loved ones. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure fear was very contagious
Oh, yeah.
over here.
But we had a church family holding up Al continually through our pastor, Reverend Angley, and they were always holding him up in prayer, and I felt the power of that prayer, the impact of it. I never went into fear. He never went into fear. I always knew he was coming back, and that was not normal to feel that way. But the power of prayer reinforced the fact to me, affected me that way. I just knew he was coming back. And he was in danger all the time, but he would never share his stories. He didn't want me, you know, fearful. He didn't want me to know what he was going through. So he didn't share it. And the prayer was so continual and so impactful that we just stayed out of that fear place. And as I look back, it was unusual, but it was the prayer. And one dear lady from our congregation came up to me during that time, and she said, "Sue, I have this little note that I post over my kitchen sink, and it says, 'Pray for Al.'" And that reminded her to keep him in prayer. And I just thought that was so special that through all these years, I've never forgotten that.
Right.
That was a special story to me, that she told me that.
Now, when Al initially went into the war, you said he was drafted.
Mhm.
The two of you weren't married. You were just,
We were dating.
you were dating at the
Yeah.
time.
And Al had asked the draft board to hold off drafting him until he finished his college degree. And the last course he took was German. So he was a college man with knowing German, knowing how to talk German. He was so sure they would send him to Germany, but they didn't. They sent him to Vietnam, which surprised us.
Right.
So what happened after you guys were dating, Al gets drafted, and then how do you guys get married in this mix?
Well, he was one of a few picked to bring a prisoner home to the States, to the federal prison. And so because he was one of them chosen, he had some time around Christmas to be home. And during that time, we got married.
Were you engaged in this? Al said, let's get married, I'm home.
It was, yeah, we were engaged. And it was a whirlwind affair. There was no proper wedding, but I have to say the church family got together and helped us to have a simple church wedding. So we
Sometimes
did
that's the best.
we did get married, and we had a few days, honeymoon days, before he had to go back. And it was a special time, very special time. Very unusual too, because there were thousands that could have been picked.
Right.
And Al was one of the few that was picked to come.
But God really worked things out in
Yes.
that whole situation.
Yes.
And even protecting both of your husbands in such a great way, being over there and being in harm's way, it does make you realize the power of prayer.
Oh, yes.
And even though you weren't, Linda, you and your husband weren't saved at the time, your cousin was attending Grace Cathedral and pulling down heaven too in prayer and covering him in prayer. And we're going to want to hear some of these stories of what they went through and how God protected them. But we do have to take a quick break here. So friends, stay with us. We have a very special song for you we want you to listen to. We know it's going to bless you.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness and every gain divine.
It is the strength of men and women who value their freedom more highly than they value their lives.
America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shine.
We are a nation under God, and I believe God intended for us to be free.
We're back with Linda and Sue. And Sue, could you let us know how God protected Al over in Vietnam?
I'd like to mention a certain mission that he volunteered for, he and his friend. They drove a deuce and a half to an ammo dump. It was needed because at the ammo dump, they were under fire and they were running out of ammunition. So they needed 2 volunteers. My husband and his friend volunteered. And as I said, they were driving a deuce and a half, and the ammunition was encased with steel, so it was very heavy. They drove through the night, not knowing if there were mines there. They were in danger, but they knew that these soldiers needed help. So as they were driving, something happened, and the deuce and a half rolled over, flipped over, and when it did, all of these encasements went everywhere. And they were hitting my husband and his friend, but the miraculous thing is they weren't injured at all. So they were rescued, and they reloaded with another vehicle and continued their drive to the ammo dump. They got to the ammo dump, and they stayed there until the next day.
So they were really driving into the fire.
They were. They had no idea there could be mines. The Viet Cong were good to do that, lay mines everywhere. When they returned the next day, they saw some soldiers out on the ground. And what they were doing is they were defusing all of these mines that were detonated to go off. If just one had gone off, it would have caused a huge, huge explosion. But they were dumbfounded. They said, we can't understand why these mines didn't go off.
So this is the way they drove through.
It's the way they came back the same way they went. And as they were, diffusing them, they said, we just don't understand why they didn't go off. But I know why they didn't go off. It was the power of prayer. And personally, I believe there was an angel there to take care, to protect, so that they didn't get injured.
Right.
And in the end, he received a medal of commendation for his bravery.
Oh, yeah, that was very heroic.
Yes.
And just think that vehicle being flipped over like that, he should have died then, but the Lord protected him.
They should have been very injured by that.
And he volunteered for that
Yes,
job.
he did. He and his friend volunteered because they knew these soldiers needed help. They were under fire by the Viet Cong, and they were running out of ammunition.
You know, it's hard to say how many angels were there protecting and covering God's children.
Yeah.
And do you have a story, too, that you'd like to share?
Yes, it was 2 weeks before Jim left to come home, and he was in an ambush, and there was shooting going off, and he told them he's going to shine a bright light, and when he shined the light to start shooting, and that's what happened, and they backed off, even though they were surrounded, and they were able to get out of there.
So God really watched over him as well.
Yes.
But the story, because he wasn't saved, I'm sure he did a lot of praying even though he wasn't saved over there.
Right.
And,
He had his little testament he carried with him.
So he had a little Bible with him.
oh, that's precious.
That he got in 1963.
So then when he came back home
Mhm.
and was safe, what happened next?
Well, he was in the service for additional years. He re-up, and total was 6 years he was in. So we moved to different places, Washington State, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. He had training, diesel mechanic, and then we were at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and then the last year he was sent to Germany. And I couldn't go unless he would re-enlist, and we didn't want to re-enlist. He wanted to get out and have, a normal life.
So then when he finally came home and was out of the service, what happened next?
Well, we bought a house, and I just had a desire to come back to church. And the only church is Grace Cathedral. They teach the truth, it's everything. And I told him, it was in February of 1976, I go, I'm going to go to church. If you want to come, you can, but I'm going. And he came, and that was on a Friday night, and we got saved, and we've been in the ministry ever since.
I love that story.
And he's part of the quartet.
Yes. He started singing in the choir, and an opportunity arose for a bass singer, and Barb called him and asked, and he took, the opportunity to be with the quartet and the Hallelujahs
Yes,
too.
and did he know that he could sing?
You know what? I never knew he could sing until we got in church, and then we used to stand up and sing, and all of a sudden, my cousin and I, we just stopped and we listened to him. And I go, he's joined the choir.
Yes, he's got a talent. And no doubt the Lord knew because he gave him that talent.
Yes.
And you're a choir mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. All those children.
Well, we want to take a quick moment here for our audience to hear your husband sing. So we're going to play a very special number.
Okay.
And the song is by the Singing Men's Quartet, My Country 'Tis of Thee.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims ride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Our fathers, God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God our King. Great God, great God, great God, great God our King.
What a beautiful song. And now we're back with Linda and Sue. And Sue, could you tell us what happened after Al got back?
Okay, after he got back, we started our life together, setting up housekeeping and going through the normal things that a couple goes through. But I noticed that he was very agitated, not the same Al that I knew. He was irritated about things, small things. His nervous system was pretty much shot. But, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we have a great family, a church family, Grace Cathedral, and we had a pastor who was not finished with his prayers for Al. So about the first Sunday morning service that we went to, we were sitting there enjoying the service. And at a certain point, Reverend Angley went into the gift of discernment, one of the gifts of the Spirit, and he turned over to where we were sitting, and he pointed to Al, and he said, "Al, you're getting a miracle of recreation for your nerves." He needed that so bad. And he received a fantastic miracle, because if he hadn't received it, he could have never gone back, got his MBA and his PhD, which took a lot of pressure. You know, he had to handle that. But he did it because of this wonderful miracle that he received. And I give God all the praise and the honor and the glory for it.
It's wonderful.
And he was successful in his career as a consultant. He would go in to troubled companies and turn them around, and they would make great profits, and they all loved him wherever he went. He was very talented to do that. And he had a very successful career, but it all happened because he got this wonderful miracle for his
changed
nervous
his
system.
life.
Yes. God really just watched over and protected him throughout.
He didn't come home harmed in any way as far as physical damage, but he did have to have his nervous system recreated. But God wasn't going to let it stay that
mindful,
way.
Right.
He had a plan.
Wonderful. And then, Linda, we're grateful too that the Lord watched over and protected your husband as well. And we want to thank you both for being on the show today and for sharing your wonderful stories with us.
Yes. Bryn, you heard these wonderful testimonies. Let God change your life. The greatest miracle of all is the miracle of salvation. Pray with me now to accept Jesus Christ into your heart. Say, "Oh God, save my soul. Forgive me for my sins. Come into my heart, Jesus. Come on in, Jesus." Amen. Friend, if you meant that prayer, you have Jesus Christ in your heart. Live for Him daily and tell others about Jesus. And come and be with us in the services.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This program has been made possible by the friends and partners of Ernest Angley Ministries.